In today's video, I'm going to show you how I created this custom wall design for my new podcast studio, and this video starts right now. Hi everybody, I'm Christina Mascari of Pretty Distressed, and I am a DIYer and furniture flipper, and I am a brand new podcaster. I just started a podcast called The Cypress Room, where I dive deep into all the behind the scenes of creating content with my good friend Maggie Honeycutt of Spark Creative Consulting. We really wanted to level up this space, so I am teaming up with my friends at Cricut to show you just how easy it is to create custom wall decor for your business or home. And make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the podcast and give you a full tour of our podcast studio and all the equipment we're using. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to be using my Cricut Maker 3 to do my project today. I have opened Design Space on my phone, and I've already uploaded some of my Cypress Room logos. I decided to go with this top one that you see here. I think it's going to fill the space the best. So I've put this onto my canvas, and I'm going to size it as big as it will go. If you don't have a custom logo that you're working with for your business like me, and you just want to decorate for your home, you can go to the Cricut Design Space, type in wall decal, and a bunch of different images are going to pop up as well as projects, and you can select one that works for you. When you do a project on here, it's super easy just to click what you want to do. It'll tell you all the materials you need, and you just hit make it, and it'll walk you through the whole process. I'm going to add my roll holder attachment. I love this thing, especially when I'm working with those really big rolls of smart vinyl. I'm using removable smart vinyl on this project. They recommend using removable for wall decals because if one day I decide I want to take this off or we move, it's going to be able to come off without damaging the wall. Smart vinyl has the vinyl already attached to a backing, so there is no need to attach this to a mat. It's ready to go and cut right in the machine. I made my logo to fit the maximum size of what you can cut on this vinyl. Now that I'm ready to cut, I'm just going to turn the machine on. I'm going to select Smart Removable Vinyl, and then you'll hit this button. It's going to feed your material through and make sure that you have enough material before it starts cutting. It's easy to design and cut right from your phone, so that's usually what I do, but you could also use a desktop, a laptop, or a tablet. Once it checks the material, your play button is going to flash, so just go ahead and hit that, and it's going to prepare by checking and detecting that you have the right tool in place, and then it will start cutting. This is when the magic really happens. You will not believe how intricately the Cricut cuts, and it does it super fast too. Nothing you could ever do with a stencil or cutting by hand, and I think it's totally worth the investment. I have used this machine for a number of things, to make gifts, to make shirts, to do projects with the kids, to do little gifts for their birthday parties. I pull this thing out all the time, and it is a lot of fun, and it's easy to use. Once the cutting is done, you will get this unload message on your design space, and you're just going to hit that unload button again. And this is where my handy dandy Cricut roller comes in handy as well, because it also has a blade on here, so it's going to be really easy to pull my design out and cut it off square. Okay, cutting is the most fun to watch, but the most satisfying part of a Cricut project is doing the weeding. This is where you pull off all that excess vinyl to reveal your design. I like to use this Cricut weeding tool. It has a little sharp point, and it helps me get into all those little detailed areas. I apologize for how hard it is to see my design. I'm using white vinyl because my wall is green, and this is really going to pop on there, but it makes it really hard for you guys to see the design on top of the, smart backing that I have here. So hopefully you can see this design here. It turned out awesome. You're going to be able to see it a lot better when I get it on the transfer tape, and that is the next step. So I have a large roll of transfer tape, and I'm just going to put this over the top, and this needs to completely cover my design, and then I'm going to cut it down to size. I usually use the weeder again to pull up the corner of the transfer tape from its backing, and because this design is so large, I think it would be too hard to peel this whole transfer tape off and try to put it on there evenly. So I'm just going to peel back this front portion, stick that on, and then I found if I just pulled the backing from underneath, it stayed in line and was really easy to get on and didn't create a lot of bubbles. Now that I have my transfer tape in place, I'm going to use my scraper and burnish the vinyl to my transfer tape. Now that is all just a fancy term for I'm rubbing over my whole design of the vinyl to get it to stick to the transfer tape so I can peel it away from the backing that I have it currently on. Once I have the burnishing done, I'm going to start peeling back that transfer tape from the backing. This is usually the longest part of the process for me when I'm doing a Cricut vinyl project, and it's because I always have intricate designs like this. So you're just going to want to make sure that you're burnishing as you go so that nothing is sticking to that backing. The finer detail you have, the more you need to watch out that it's not going to rip. So just be patient as you go. Okay, now you can really see that design. This is going to look so awesome on the wall. All right, I'm ready to stick this to the wall. I've already prepped my wall and made sure it's free of dust and it's ready for my decal. And I'm going to use this laser level that actually sticks to the wall with a little suction motor and batteries. It's really cool. So I will make sure that I'm hanging this level. You don't want to press too hard on your design until you know you have it in the right spot. I was able to lift this back up off the wall and adjust it as I needed it. Once I had it in the perfect spot, it's time to burnish again. So I'm grabbing that scraper tool, and this time my goal is to get the vinyl to stick to the wall and peel back from my transfer tape. Using that same technique of burnishing as I go and then peeling back that transfer tape, I have it flat against the wall, and this helps it release really easily from the vinyl. Once you're finished getting that on the wall, you just want to take a clean cloth and go over all the letters and just remove any air bubbles there might be. And it's just that easy. Look how sharp and crisp this looks. It is so awesome. I love it. I can't wait to record our next podcast in here. Okay, so as promised, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the podcast that I started with my friend Maggie Honeycutt from Spark Creative Consulting. We're basically giving you a behind the scenes of what it's like to run my YouTube channel, my Instagram, my TikTok, and create content full time. And it's working with brand sponsorships, how I actually make money, what my income streams are, how I keep getting creative ideas, how I keep growing in my business, all the behind the scenes that we experience day to day being in the content creator business. And I get to bring a little bit of my personal life in it too. I'm also a mother. I'm a wife, I'm a friend. So there's lots of facets that you don't get to see here on Pretty Distressed. I usually mostly just focus on furniture and DIY crafts like this. So this is a fun way for you to get to know me on a more personal level. So I hope you'll join us for the Cypress Room, where we dive deep into influencing with integrity. So I'm going to give you a full tour of our podcast studio and show you all the equipment that we're using in our podcast in case that's something you're interested in or you're thinking about starting your own podcast. We definitely have no experience in this, very beginner level. So it's been very fun piecing everything together and putting the studio together. So I'll show you what we're working with. So this is the wide shot of the studio. This is just against a wall in our office space that we have. The first item I want to show you is the microphone we got. This is the Shure SM58 dynamic vocal microphone, and it comes with just the silver top, but we bought a pack of these foam toppers to put on here. I just think it looks better and more like a podcast. It does come with a holder, and the one that I bought with the cable. This is a XLR cable, and it plugs into our sound mixer, which I'll show you in a minute. And our microphone sits in a Amazon Basics adjustable boom mic stand. This actually is boom height. I've used it in recording for a long time, and I already had one of them, so I just bought a second one for our setup here. It has lots of ways to adjust it, and I can use it at a really high height, or I can use it sitting in these chairs, so it has a lot of function to it. The headphones we use to monitor our voices in our microphone, I hope I'm saying this right, are the Sennheiser Pro Audio. Again, we have 2 pairs of these. They're very comfortable, fit over your ears, and, drowned out any background noise in case you were filming somewhere where there might be some noise, and they're very comfortable on your head. And I just like the way that they look. They have a real podcast look to them. And our headphones are plugged into these Amazon Basics auxiliary cables that just help give us an extra length so that they can reach all the way to our sound mixer. And this is how we record our audio. This is the Zoom PodTrack P4 podcast recorder. This thing has a lot of features that you can use for, reducing feedback when you're doing phone calls and recording directly to your computer. But we're using it in a really basic level right now. We just have 2 microphones, but it can have up to 4, and you can control the gain of each microphone on there in case you have somebody that talks a little quieter than your other guests. You have 4 sound pads there that you can program in different sound effects. We haven't done any of those yet, but you can put an SD card right in here and it records right to there. Or you can connect it to your laptop and record directly to your laptop. It has 2 power sources, batteries, and then we got an AC adapter, so we're not having to change those batteries constantly. And this is the camera I'm currently recording with. This is the Sony Alpha ZV-E10. We ended up getting this one and upgrading from my Canon that I've had for several years to record my YouTube channel for this reason, because it has an AV adapter that I can put in here so that it can keep running so I don't have to worry about the battery dying. And this can also record up to 4 hours of footage in one setting. My Canon only did 30 minutes and kept shutting off on us, so this was an upgrade that we needed, and I'm using it here on my channel as well. We do have a decent amount of natural light in here, but we did pull in my LED lights that I use for filming out in my garage, as well as my softbox. We like to have it nice and bright and lit in here. Luckily, the floor is carpeted, so I didn't have to do any sound treatment in here. But as you can see, this is a multifaceted room. It's a guest room. It's an office. It is very messy behind the scenes. We just have to constantly shift things around the room to film in here. Off the set, we have these beautiful white bright chairs with the tufting to give it some texture. I love the gold feet on here. And then we have the faux marble top with the gold base as well. I'll link all of these items below, as well as all the materials I used in my Cricut project today, so check that out. I am so pumped about how this turned out. I can't wait to film our next podcast in here with our beautiful logo, thanks to Cricut. And I'm missing my co-host. I can't wait to have her back. Thanks you guys for joining me for today's project. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. And don't forget to check out the playlist of the Cypress Room down in that description box. And I will see you guys next time.